Hey, what is up guys, Phoenix here, and welcome to part 1 of our Itadori Yuji pixel art tutorial from Jujutsu Kaisen. So, where we last, actually no, this is part 1, my bad. So, as all new tutorials usually start off, here's a little bit of a disclaimer. We're going to be using grass blocks as a little bit of a bridging technique, and blocks of coal for the outline. We will get into the color detail later, but for now we're just going to be working on the outline frame of the stuff. Let's see, what else am I missing? Oh, as usual with pixel arts, blocks don't always connect directly, so sometimes we will be building at diagonals like such, which is what the dirt block is for. It's just for a bridging technique. So if I say go up and to the right, that means we can put our placement block or the dirt block up or to the right of where we're working and then use that to place more blocks. All right. So I'm going to go a little bit slow in part 1, but we will pick up the speed and be less descriptive as the tutorial series goes further. Also, recently people have been taking my builds and posting them to TikTok and pretending they're their own. Please give credit where credit is due if you are building it. It helps the channel grow, and I don't see a reason as to why you would want to kill the channel if you are using the channel for pixel arts. It doesn't make much sense. If I disappear, then where are you getting your pixel arts from? Anyways, let's start off. I'm not going to be name dropping yet, but I just want to, if you know who you are, you know who you are. So from there, what we're going to do is we're going to start from the left side of the build, and I would give about 175 spaces to the right and about 175 spaces up, so that way you don't run out of space. I also recommend that you build on a flat world. If you are new to pixel arting, we do not usually build in survival because you will run out of space. Anyways, from here, what we're going to do to start is we're going to put 7 placement blocks going straight up from the ground. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And actually, we can do that with coal. So we can do 7 coal instead of placement blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, just like that. Then from the top of that, we're going to add an extra block to make 8. But from that 8 block, we're going to put 3 more to the right. So 1, 2, 3. We're then going to go up and to the right 2 flat. So placement block to the top or right, which is why I said up and to the right. This is just a perfect example of our bridging. So we're going to go 2 flat now. 1, 2. You don't need to put both placement blocks, but I usually place them just so that way you can see it. But if we're going up and to the right, you can just do the up or to the right. So you can choose one if you want. So we're going to go up and to the right 4 flat next. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up and to the right 2 flat 2 times in a row. 1, 2, that's 1. 1, 2, that's 2. Up and to the right 3 flat, so placement block 1, 2, 3. Up and to the right 5 flat, so placement block to the top or right side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And from that 5 flat, what we're going to do is this splits off into 2 different directions. From the middle block, so this third block from the left or right side, we can put 6 more blocks on top. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that, creating this upside down T shape. We can then mark the top block in that 6 vertical because we're going to come back to it later. But for now, we want to build with this right side and just make it touch the ground. So we're going to go to the right side of this 5 flat right here, and we're going to put a placement block to the top or right side so that we can go up into the right 2 flat. 1, 2. Up into the right 7 flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you can always just delete your old placement blocks other than marker blocks. So you can see how I marked the top of that 6 vertical. That's marking so that we can come back to it later. It's not a placement block, but the placement blocks that we're using to go diagonal, you can always delete them when you're done with them. Anyways, from there we can go down into the right 6 flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, placement block. Down into the right 4 flat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down into the right 3 flat. 1, 2, 3. Down into the right 2 flat. 1, 2. Down into the right 2 singles. 1, 2. Down into the right 2 flat again. 1, 2. Whoops. 1, 2. And if you need to know what we're doing right now, this is just basically one of the shoulder blades that it kind of overlap with the scarf. So we're going to make it touch the ground and then worry about rounding out the scarf. Anyways, from that 2 flat, we are now going to go down into the right 1 single again. So this part is kind of repetitive, but it's just small increments. Down into the right 2 flat, 1, 2. Down into the right 2 singles. So placement block underneath, 1. Then placement block again, 2. Down into the right 2 flat 3 times in a row. So placement block to the bottom or right side. 1, 2, that's 1. 1, 2, that's 2. And remember, we're doing 3 times. So again, 1, 2, that's 3. And you should be 1 above the ground now. All we're going to do to touch down is just go down into the right 1 single. Perfect. Looking at the right hand camera screen, you can see it looks good. So now we're going to go back to that 6 vertical that we previously marked, and we're going to work from there. Usually in the first part of every tutorial, I go from left to right, and we don't worry about height wise, we worry about width. So we're going to have to make up some time here because I did spend quite a bit of time on that little segment right there. So let's get started. So from the top block in that 6 vertical, we can remove this marker block now, and instead put a placement block on top or to the right side so that we can go up and to the right, 2 vertical, 2 times in a row. 1, 2, that's 1. 1, 2, that's 2. Up and to the right 2 singles. 1, 2. Up and to the right 2 vertical again. 1, 2, that's 1. Placement block to the top or right side. 1, 2, that's 2. And then delete all your placement blocks. Up and to the right 2 singles again. 1, 2. Whoops. 2. And if you zoom out, you can see the pattern is kind of repetitive. After we did that 6 vertical, you can see we have 2, 2, 1, 1, then 2, 2, 1, 1 again. So just want to acknowledge that repetition right there, just so that way if you guys thought, that sounded kind of familiar, just so you know it was familiar. We just did the same pattern twice in a row. So that way you're not confused. From there, we're going to go up and to the right, 2 vertical, 1, 2, placement block on top, up and to the right 2 flat, 1, 2, placement block on top, up and to the right 3 flat, 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to put a placement block below or to the right so that we can go down into the right 2 flat, 1, 2, down into the right 4 flat, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can see we kind of just switched directions now. So we're working underneath. So that's why we the placement block placement kind of switched up. From that 4 flat, if we go to the 3rd block, so this one starting from the left side, let's count over 3. 1, 2, 3. So this one, or just the second to last block from the right side. We can put 5 pieces of coal on top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we can mark those to come back to later. Now from this last block into 4 flat, so this one all the way on the right side, let's put a placement block underneath and go down into the right, 2 singles, 1, 2, down into the right 2 flat, 1, 2, down into the right 3 flat, 1, 2, 3, placement block at the end, down into the right 2 flat again, 1, 2, placement block at the end. Just placing a placement block after the end of the final block each time should be safe for this segment, at least until we switch direction again. Anyways, from that 2 flat, we're gonna go down into the right 3 singles. So 1, 2, 3, count carefully and place carefully. Down into the right 2 flat, 1, 2, placement block on the end. Down into the right 3 singles again, 1, 2, 3. Whoops, there we go, at the end there. Down into the right 3 flat, 1, 2, 3, placement block. Down into the right 4 flat, 1, 2, 3, 4. Down into the right 3 flat, 1, 2, 3. Down into the right 2 flat, 1, 2. And we're almost going to be doing a check-in right here, which is basically like if your block didn't touch the ground or something, that means you did something wrong. So that'll be a good point for you to go back and kind of rewind if you need to. Kind of like when we put the single down right here. If your single didn't touch the ground, you kind of knew you did something wrong and you can retrace your steps. So in this next segment, if your block doesn't touch the ground, you'll know that you did something wrong and you have to rewind before continuing. Kind of stops you from going too far in the tutorial with messed up builds. Alright, so we have 4, 3, 2, then we're going to go down and to the right, 4 flat again, so placing block to the bottom or right side, 1, 2, 3, 4, down and to the right, 2 flat, and we're going to do that 5 times in a row. 1, 2, that's 1, 1, 2, that's 2, 1, 2, that's 3, 1, 2, that's 4, and 1, 2, that's 5. Make sure you count carefully and then delete all these placement blocks. It's looking good. From this last set of 2 flat right here, the 5th one, all we're going to do is go to the right side of it and put another coal at the end, making it 3 in length. But what we're then going to do from that extra coal is we're going to put 5 more on top and 5 below it. So above it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like so. And below it, we're going to put 5 as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it should be 11 in total because we put 5 on top, 5 on the bottom, and we already had that middle block right here. Now here's your block check. From the bottom right here, you can put your placement block underneath or to the left side and go down into the left 6 vertical. And if your block doesn't touch the ground, that means you did something wrong. So let's try it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can see my 6 vertical did touch the ground, which means I'm okay with continuing the build. If yours didn't touch right there, then you might need to rewind and just look at the right hand camera screen, see where yours looks different and where you possibly messed up. If yours did touch the ground and it looks good, make sure yours looks like the right hand camera screen, because you could have touched the ground but you did something wrong somewhere else still before continuing. Anyways, now what we're going to do is go to the top where we added the 5 vertical and continue from there. So from the top, we're going to be going up into the left and then up into the right. So I suggest just putting your placement block on the top each time, just so that way when you switch directions, you'll still be fine. So we're going to go up into the left, 3 vertical to start us off. 1, 2, 3, placement block. Up into the left, 4 vertical, 2 times in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 1. Let's put our placement block and do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 2. Perfect. From that second 4 vertical, so this one up here, the top one, we're going to go to the bottom block in it. Whoops, I deleted by accident. The bottom block in it, and I want you to put an extra coal to the left of it. From that extra coal, we're going to go up into the left, 4 flat. So placement block to the top or left side. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is just a bit of detail. We are going to go back to the 4 vertical and work with this top block. This is just a little bit of a tangent line that comes in, so we're going to be done with this fairly quickly. From the 4 flat, let's go to the end and put a placement block again so that we can go up into the left 2 flat, 1, 2. Up into the left 4 flat again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Placement block at the end. Up into the left 3 flat, 1, 2, 3. And then finally up into the left 1 single. And up into the left 2 flat, 1, 2. Perfect. So once you have that, let me just zoom out so you can see it. So we added an extra block right here. Then we have 4, 2, 4, 3, 1, 2. And then we can go back now to the 4 vertical over here and work with the top block. Just a little small detour. Anyways, from the top block in that 4 vertical, what I then want you to do is place a placement block on top so that we can go up into the left 6 vertical. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Placement block on top. Like I said, we're going to be switching directions, but if you keep it on top, you should be safe. We're going to go up into the right now, so opposite side, 1 single. Up into the right, 2 flat, and we're going to do that 5 times in a row. 1, 2, that's 1. 1, 2, that's 2. 1, 2, that's 3. 1, 2, that's 4. And then finally, 1, 2, that's 5. And then delete, 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 delete. Get them out of here. From this top set of 2 flat right here, we can go to the left block and mark it, so we can come back to it later. That's gonna go into the other part of his scarf, but we're not working with that yet. We want to go to the right side. So let's go to the right block, and we're gonna go up and to the right, 3 flat. So placing block to the top or right side. 1, 2, 3. Up and to the right, 2 flat. 1, 2. Up and to the right, 3 flat again. 1, 2, 3. Up and to the right, 4 flat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up and to the right, 3 flat. 1, 2, 3. Up and to the right, 5 flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Placing block to the top or right side. We're gonna go up and to the right, 4 flat, 2 times in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 1. Put your placement block there and do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 2. From here, we're gonna kind of stretch it out a bit. We're gonna go up and to the right, 12 flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And that kind of finishes off this part of the scarf, to be honest. It then splits into his neck and then some of the shading part of the scarf. You won't notice it until later in the build. I'm just saying that just to say it, to be honest. So from the last block in this 12 flat, we're going to do 2 things. First, we're going to go above it and put 23 pieces of coal going straight up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, then 3 more. 1, 2, 3. All right. And that's for the neck. We can mark the top block to come back to it later, but I'm pretty sure even if you don't mark it, you guys will be able to tell when I say go back to the 23 vertical, because this is huge. You cannot miss it. Anyways, let's go back down to the bottom now, to the 12 flat. And what we're gonna also do is from the block all the way on the right, from the 12 flat, we're gonna go up and to the right, 5 flat. So we can put a placement block to the right side and go up and to the right, 5 flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is touching the first block in our 23 vertical, but it isn't a part of it. As you can see, it's 5 blocks excluding that. Just wanted to distinguish that so that way there's no confusion. Anyways, from this 5 flats now, we're gonna go up and to the right, 2 flat. So placing block to the top or right side. 1, 2. Up and to the right, 1 single. Up and to the right, 3 flat, 2 times in a row. 1, 2, 3, that's 1. 1, 2, 3, that's 2. Up and to the right, 2 flat, 3 times in a row. 1, 2, that's 1. 1, 2, that's 2. 1, 2, that's 3. Up and to the right, 3 flat, 2 times in a row. 1, 2, 3, that's 1. 1, 2, 3, that's 2. Up and to the right, 2 flat. 1, 2. Up and to the right, 5 singles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure you count that carefully. It is very easy to get messed up with singles, but you guys should have it. Should be good. Anyways, from there, what we're then gonna do is sorry about that. From the last 2 blocks, basically, we need to connect them on the 5 singles. So let's go to this second to last block and put 1 coal on top, just like that. Then what we're gonna do is from that 1 to the top we just added, so we've created this R shape, but now we have this top left block here. We can put a placement block to the left side of it so that we can go up and to the left 3 flat. 1, 2, 3. From that 3 flat, if we go to the last block, this one all the way on the right side, so this one right here, we can add another coal to the top like so. And from that coal to the top we just placed, we can then add another 3 to the right. 1, 2, 3. So now this shape splits off weirdly. Let's mark things just so that way we don't get lost. This first block to the top we added will be worked off of to go towards the neck, as well as this block all the way on the left on this 3 flat. So I'm going to mark both of those. We just pause right here and make sure yours looks like this, guys. So we have this 3 flat right here, and the first block is marked. and then we created this 4 flat off of it, and the first block is marked as well. We might make this stuff come back to connect over here eventually, but I just want to leave these markers here just so that way we don't forget them. Anyways, from the right side of the 4 flat, we're going to bring this down to the ground. So let's go to the right side and put a placement block at the end and go down into the right 2 flat, 1, 2, down into the right 1 single, down into the right 3 vertical, 1, 2, 3, down into the right 9 vertical, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Placement block on the bottom, down into left 2 flat, 1, 2. From the 2 flat, we're going to go to the left block in it and put a placement block underneath so that we can go down into the left 7 vertical, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we're going to go down into the right 6 flat from there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On that 7 vertical, before we continue with the 6 flat, we're going to start from the top and find the second to last block and mark it. So this one right here. And the block all the way on the bottom we're going to mark as well. Because there are stuff to be bridged off of it, but I'm not doing that yet. Alright, now let's go back to the 6 flat and continue bringing that to the ground. We're then going to go to the final block on the right side right here and put a placement block underneath so that we can go down into the right 5 vertical 2 times in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's 2. From the bottom block in that 5 vertical, or the second one right here, we're going to put another 4 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. And from those 4 to the right we just placed, so this is the 4 we just placed, the first block in it is going to get 2 coal underneath. 1, 2. And the last block on the right side is going to get 2 underneath as well. 1, 2. Like this. From the last block where we added 2 underneath, we're then going to put a placement block underneath that and go down into the right 1 single, down into the right 2 vertical, 1, 2, down into the right 4 vertical, 1, 2, 3, 4. From that 4 vertical, we're going to split into 2 directions. On this bottom block right here, we're going to put 1 coal to the left and mark that. And we're also going to put 1 coal to the bottom and mark that. From the coal to the bottom, we can remove the marker and then put an extra coal to the right side, like so. And then from that extra coal to the right side, what we can do is we can go down into the right 2 flat 2 times in a row, so placement block underneath. 1, 2, that's 1. 1, 2, that's 2. Down into the right 1 single. Down into the right 3 flat. 1, 2, 3. Down into the right 2 flat 3 times in a row. 1, 2, that's 1. 1, 2, that's 2. 1, 2, that's 3. Down into the right 3 flat. So placement block to the bottom or right side. 1, 2, 3. And then from the final block in this 3 flat, so this one all the way on the right side, we can just add an extra 15 below it and this should touch the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Perfect. So, like I said, in the first part of every tutorial, I do like to just go from left to right. So that's kind of what we just did. There is still some detail missing and we're going to go over that later, but I just wanted to make sure we had enough room. Hopefully you guys did enjoy part 1 and were able to follow along. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe for more pixel art content. This is Phoenix, and as always, I'll see you guys later.